In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install and run the new technology from Anthropic called Claude Computer. This allows Claude to take over your computer and do tasks for you, such as research and fill out spreadsheets and a lot more things, which makes it incredibly useful. This is essentially the beginning of real-world use cases for autonomous agents. Fantastic technology, and I think it's within your benefit to learn how to use this stuff. So we need to understand a few things before we actually get up and running. We're going to install and use this with a safe sandboxed environment using Docker. And don't worry if you've never used Docker, I'm going to go through a step-by-step guide on absolutely everything you need to do and download. Why do we want to do this? Well, we want to be very safe and we don't want to give complete control to Claude of our computer. That can lead to some serious security issues, and you never know what Claude is going to do to your actual system. A better way to kind of explain this, and I know this is a very horrible illustration, but I hope it helps. So if the green box is your whole computer or your system, what we're doing is creating a smaller sandboxed environment, and this is the only thing that Claude is going to have access to. It'll be able to access the web, to access spreadsheets and everything like that, and do everything, but it'll only be in that environment. It won't have access to anything else. This is the safest way to do this, at least as of the time of this recording, and the way that Anthropic suggests for you to do so. Now, obviously some people already have built Claude computer versions that allows it to already control your entire system. For example, here's an example that someone has done already, where it's called Agent EXE, and you can see it's already taken control of this guy's computer. And in this instance, finding a flight from Seattle to San Francisco for next Tuesday or Thursday. Do I recommend this? Absolutely not. But I just want to show you that people are already doing this, and this is quickly going to get better and better and better as time goes along. So again, I think it's beneficial for you to learn how to do this. There's a couple of things that you're going to need to be able to get this up and running. The first thing you need is obviously a API key from Anthropic. If you haven't got one, you need to go and make an account in Anthropic console. Now, this isn't the same as having an account with Claude. For example, with this, even if you're in the professional plan, you're not going to have an access to an API key if you haven't made an account with the console. So you need to go to console.anthropic.com/dashboard, and I'll leave a link to this in the video resources below. You need to create an account. You need to add some billing there. I've got $20 here, as you can see here. And you need to go to create an API key. That's the API key we're going to use to allow Claude to use our computer and do all those functions. We're going to create a key, and we're going to name it Claude Computer, for example. The workspace, it's fine, I'm going to leave it as default, and you're going to have that API key. Don't try to use this API key. I'm going to delete it as soon as this video is completed. So I'm going to save this. I have a little application here that allows me to save anything that I want. So with my API key saved, the next thing that I need to do is download Docker if you don't have that already. And Docker is going to allow us to do this in a very safe manner. If you don't know what Docker is, it's just a way to safely deploy any kind of applications through these safe containers. So really useful tool. You're going to download Docker for desktop, and I'll leave a link to this site here. And I've got the Apple Silicon, for example, so I'll download this to my system and install it. So after having downloaded Docker, I'm going to drag it into the applications, and it's going to start copying everything and downloading everything as it should. Cool, perfect. Now let's open Docker up and make sure that it's working. Yes, you're going to open this, but I'm going to say don't warn me when opening this application. Perfect. Okay, I've already made an account, so everything is kind of already, I'm already signed in to Docker. You'll have to just make the account. It's fairly simple to do so. And after that, you might not see these things here. That's quite all right. I'm going to now, with the Docker installed and open, and you can see that it's running here, because I've got my little Docker logo at the top. I want to go to my terminal. With my terminal open, I can then go to the documentation that Claude provides us in a GitHub. I'm going to go to the GitHub, and I'll leave a link to this below. And if I click on the README file, it's going to give me the Anthropic Computer Use demo. And it essentially gives us all the instructions on how to do this. The first thing that we want is running the Docker container. We're going to copy this entire code. We're going to go back to our terminal. We're going to paste it but we need to do a couple of changes. So in the API key segment, in the API key, we're just going to delete where it says your API key here. And obviously we need to paste our API key that we've got here. Wherever you've saved that, you're going to paste it there. I'm going to go down and run everything. It'll take a little while. As you can see, it'll start downloading everything that it needs to download, all the packages, running it all in Docker, but that's kind of it. You just need to give it a second, and then I'll show you the success message that you should get at the end, or what it looks like if you've done everything correctly. Perfect. So if everything has gone correctly, hopefully you don't have any error messages, but now it says Computer Use demo is ready. Open local host. So what we're going to do is copy this little local host environment or URL kind of. We're going to go to a brand new tab and we're going to hit enter. And this is going to spring up our local environment. This is Docker in our local environment that only gives Claude Computer access within this environment only. The first time it usually takes a little bit to load. Don't worry, just give it a little while. We got to be patient here. Cool. If it takes too long, just make sure you go to your URL and hit enter again, and it'll kind of refresh it. So perfect. Now this is actually the container in which we're going to use Claude Computer. And you can see that they give you some tools already that it can use. Again, it's a very controlled environment. So it's got Firefox here, it's got Terminal, it's got a Excel and a bunch of other little applications, PDF reader, even a calculator. But we're not going to use any of that. What we're going to do is make sure that our API key is in here, and it is fantastic, and it's using the brand new Sonnet. Okay. You can use a kind of system prompt within that, but we won't do that at the moment. And now you can start using the Claude Computer. We're going to do something very easy to start off with. We're going to say, go to Firefox and open up a Google search. You see that it's running at the top here, meaning it's working. And it takes screenshots of everything so it understands what it needs to click on. And in a second, it should start doing all of its actions. I'm going to be drinking my tea while it does this, so you can do, it's doing everything hands-free. It's just quite amazing. Perfect. Now it's on Google. Now, that was a very simple task. So let's take it a bit further and actually do a useful SEO task that we might be able to do that might actually be beneficial for us to use this tool as it is at the moment. So I've got this prompt that I have prepared. So what I'm doing here is act as an SEO expert. Please search for the term best places to visit in the Patagonia on Google. Click on the first 3 organic results and gather the content from those pages. Analyze the main themes present in the top 3 ranking results. Determine the search intent being addressed by these pages. Evaluate from a content perspective why these pages are ranking well. Finally, based on your search, suggest 3 blog ideas that will help me rank for this keyword. Consider the themes, search intent you identified. Please ensure suggestions are practical and aligned with the competition. This is maybe a research that I would give a entry-level SEO or an entry-level anyone who's working with me. So now I can kind of automate this and let's see how it goes with this. Okay, it's doing the searches, best places to visit in the Patagonia. It even has a little pop-up, but it got rid of the pop-up there, which is pretty impressive. Great, now it's looking for the top 3 organic results. All while I'm still having a little mate, a little tea. It tells you can see the top organic results. Perfect. It went to that. I'm assuming now it's reading everything and understanding everything. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck by that little... No, it didn't. Okay. I thought pop-ups might make it a little funky, but it didn't. Okay, wow. Let's see what it's done here. So... from analyzing the search results, I can provide comprehensive SEO analysis. It's giving us the main themes of the top search results, geographical coverage, activities-based content, search intent. The search intent is primarily informational with travel planning orientational specifically. Okay, perfect. There's a discovery phase. Users want to understand the key destinations within Patagonia. The planning phase. Users need information about specific locations and how to visit them. That's a really good point. And then the comparison intent. Users want to compare different destinations within Patagonia. So let's say you run a travel blog, you kind of already have all of the contents, ideas that you really can start to write about. So the discovery phase, you can tell them all about how wonderful the Patagonia is and all these things to visit. The planning phase is, hey, here's how to get to these locations. And then the comparison is, this trail versus that trail, which is pretty incredible. Why these pages are ranking well, clear hierarchical organization of destinations. Okay, perfect. Here are the blog ideas, the ultimate Patagonia itinerary, a 2-week journey through the top 10 must-see destinations. Really good, really to the point and niche, which is what we want. Comparing Argentine and Chilean Patagonia, where to go based on your travel style. Great, perfect. The only thing that I think it didn't do is go through all the top ranking results. So I'm just going to make sure that it did that and go. So let's see, I'm going to ask it, did you go through the other top ranking organic blogs? I saw that you only went through one. Maybe save the URLs and the summary of what they wrote about, including the key themes on a spreadsheet. This is getting a bit more complex now, but let's test it out, because these are actual useful things that you could use this thing for. Just set it up and then go do your other things while it's doing a bit of SEO work for you, which is the dream. So it said, I apologize, which Claude always does that, or any language model. So it's created now a CSV file, and it's examining the other search results as we ask it to do so. And let's see at the end what it comes up with. Cool, so while I'm going on TikTok, it's doing the work for us, and now it's going through the other blog post that we asked it to do so. Cool, so now it looks like it's done, because I can see that it's no longer doing the running little animation here. So after my tea and a little TikTok session, let's take a look, right? So the file, so created the CSV file, and then based on the detailed analysis of the top ranking results, now we're getting a little bit better. It's giving us the content authority, expert, local perspective, first-hand experience. This falls under the EEAT guidelines, experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So it kind of understood that. The structure, the key destinations, is really good. And then updated blog post suggestions. Incredible. Hidden gems versus popular spots. That's a really good blog post, actually. That's really good. A guide to both sides of the Andes. Why it will work. Different from typical list posts. Covers both countries comprehensively. Addresses advanced search needs. Implementation recommendations, visual elements, technical SEO. I mean, that is pretty good. The other one thing that I don't see is my CSV file. I'm just going to ask it, can I take a look at the spreadsheet that you created? I've asked it to download the spreadsheet, so maybe I can access it in my actual device away from the sandbox environment. I honestly don't know if that'll work at the moment, but we'll see. Oh, well, looks like it's downloading it. Let's see. Still running. You can see that it's a little bit slow at the moment, but I think that's from a safety perspective. Later on down the line, it'll be extremely quick. Cool. So it seems to have downloaded it in that Docker environment, which is probably for the best, for the safest perspective. But it did the work. It did the research, which is still fantastic. Obviously, this is the beta version. It's still very much experimental, but pretty incredible. I got really useful and incredible insights from the research alone. This stuff here in terms of the plan and the analysis that it's done of everything. And I think from an SEO perspective, this is where it can be extremely helpful. That is a pretty detailed understanding of why these blogs are ranking really well. To be fair, that's just on-site SEO, so we don't have an understanding of the backend components, like how many backlinks they've got and what's their domain authority and stuff like that. But still an incredible start. Now, before we finish, I do have to warn you of one thing. This uses an incredible amount of tokens. This is the only time that I've used Claude Computer today. So I want to show you how many tokens I used and what that costs. I'm going to go to Anthropic, the console where I got my API key. I'm going to go to usage here. And today's date is the Thursday 24th. And if I hover over here, Thursday 24th, that's how many tokens I use. So I nearly use 500,000. That's all well and good because they're inputs and output tokens. What did that cost in terms of a monetary perspective? We go to cost and we do the same thing here. Cool. So that all search and playing around with the Claude Computer set me back about $1.50, which is a bit expensive depending on what you want to do, but I'll leave that to you to decide whether that's extremely expensive or not for what it just did for me. I guess this is allowing you to give you some time back. So just keep that in mind that it's still experimental. It's quite expensive to run, but it's still a very fun tool. So if you're even thinking about installing the agent, just remember to not go crazy because you're probably going to burn through your credits like no tomorrow. That being said, that is it. Now, if you want to stop the demo, all you got to do is obviously all you got to do is just delete the tab, and you want to make sure that the Docker is paused or you quit Docker just so it doesn't run anymore. That's not going to run you through credits, but you want to be safe about this stuff. And I'm just going to quit Docker desktop again. And that is it. If you don't know me, my name's Nico. I run an online community, the AI Ranking School community, where we help and we teach people how to use all these incredible AI tools to maximize your search engine optimization, helping you rank #1 on Google, whatever keyword you need to rank for. There's a free community and a premium community as well. You're more than welcome to join whichever one you want. And if you're interested in joining a community that is taking advantage of all these tools to maximize SEO and marketing, we have support there for you. We have classes and we also have 2 weekly meetings. By all means, check it out. I'll leave the links to everything in the video descriptions below. Now I'm going to terminate the terminal as well. And now congratulations, you ran Claude Computer on your device in a very safe environment, and you did some SEO research as well. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you're using it. Let me know how you would like to use it as well, and if you want to see any more use cases for it. Cheers. So first thing you need to do is run Docker. I've already got it installed, so I'm going to run this here. And I'm just going to leave it for now. Now, Anthropic has provided us with all of the quick start guides that we need. I'll leave a link to this below. This is a GitHub repo. But really you don't actually need to access this repo to do what we're going to do. All that we want is this here. That little piece of code, when we run it in our terminal, will allow us to use this entire thing. Now, you need to make sure that you've got Docker open and installed, obviously. But with that, I'm going to click and copy this, and I'm going to open my terminal. Within the terminal, I'm going to paste the code that I just generated, sorry. I'm going to paste the code that I just copied from the GitHub. And the one thing that I'm going to change here, obviously, is this here, the anthropic API key, where it says your API key. Well, we need to put our API key there. Thankfully, I've got mine saved already. I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to paste it there. Okay, now I've got everything here. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to hit enter. I'm just actually going to copy this section here. Don't worry about the anthropic key right now. We're going to add that once the application starts popping up. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to my terminal. I'm going to paste it and hit run. I'm going to copy the entire code here. So there's the little button here that allows you to code everything. I'm going to go back to my terminal. You won't have all these things here, that's fine, but you're just going to paste it. And when it says, where it says your API key, that's the one thing that you do need to change. So we're going to delete this here. We're going to grab our API key. I've got mine saved here. And I'm going to paste it where it says your API key. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom again and I'm going to hit run.